Hey guys, this is Swordsmaster, and
this is the Greatrieck here.
And today we are going to be doing a Thracia 776 tier list.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't help but hear like the Chaz sound effect when you said that. I'm not gonna lie, like that just was burned in my mind.
Oh, on the soundboards, Thracia 776. Yeah, that's basically what I was doing.
Yeah, that's what burned into my mind. And even if someone started to say it in the most masculine voice, they will say it in my mind in that Faye voice.
It's not Faye's voice though, it's Sharina, but anyways, so currently I am I'd say more than halfway done with my Thracia 776 Let's Play, and you, Greatrieck, you're gonna be starting on your IronMan for the game pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I'm starting it on Saturday.
Yeah, so be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out the Greatrieck.
Yeah, hopefully I will make it past chapter 10 of a game for once. Yeah.
Alright, well, let's just start raiding units, I guess. So, Marty Party, obviously, the lowest of the low. C, not quite low, but they're below average. B, average. A, above average. And then S, good. And then this place right here is to help distinguish the best of the best units in the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think like what would be a good place to start is like just an average unit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
What do you think of Fred? Alfred.
I think. Oh, is it Alfred now? I have
Yeah.
not looked in the recent.
Fred, Alfred. Yeah.
I would say that he is like honestly a B rank unit. You know.
Yeah. He's like. I mean, that's very fitting for his character, though.
It is.
Yeah. Because it's like, he seems very generic.
And that's kind of the point of him, is that he's a generic guy. I mean, his biggest benefit is that, if I remember correctly, he's got a very good sword rank.
Yes, he can use A rank in swords.
Yes, and because most dismounted classes automatically default to swords, and he gets to keep his sword rank and use of his thunder sword, that's good enough. But I mean, even then, like, the thunder sword's not exclusively his, so you can just trade that off. So that's why I say he's B.
Right. Okay, Alright, just for the audience and for you to know, I've adjusted your volume just a little bit, so maybe it might be a little bit louder, but that's probably a good thing, so it'll more match the pitch of my voice. I don't know. But anyways, okay, so the gods that be. How about Finn? Would you say he's up there?
Oh, hell yeah. Like, he comes with a personal Brave Lance. Like, in FE4, that weapon was anyone's, but because only Finn can use it and it gives him +5 luck, and he's one of the best capture bots out there, he belongs in the gods that be.
Yeah, and, I think, like, one thing that puts him, like, up there as well is that, like, he has good bases, like Dagdar, but I find that he's able to retain those bases a lot better. Like, I think in my Let's Play right now, I think he's almost capped speed, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds like Finn.
Yeah. And another thing is that he has a leadership star. So, it's like, I've just been mostly deploying him right now just for the extra leadership, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, leadership stars are really important, so I definitely don't diss that, like, because any unit that comes with a leadership star is pretty good to deploy. So,
What was that?
that was my phone.
Okay. Alright. Okay, do we just, let's just, put a couple units in the bad spot just right now. Tanya, Ronin, Marty, and, where is she? Miranda.
Miranda's not that... I don't think she's Marty Party bad. I'm just gonna say that right there. Like, I mean, she's not, like, she is good with fire magic. Like, she's one of your best fire magic users. A second Mage Knight is never a bad thing, in my opinion, because...
Right. The only problem that she has is that she comes late, and you have to put a lot of investment into her to make her good. That's the only problem I see with that, like...
That's fair, and also she competes against Sleuth, or whatever is written. I'm not good with localized names, so I'm just gonna call the blonde kid Sleuth.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the name I remember him by, but, like... Because, here's the thing, I'm just gonna say this as a, like... All staff users belong, in my opinion, in, like all, like, non-Nana staff users belong in, like, A or S rank.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are just that good. And here's the thing, when you've got someone that can use Warp or Fortify right off the bat, compared to Miranda, who you have to train up.
Right.
Yeah, I can see the, So yeah, I can see how she belongs in Marty Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Marty and these guys, they're higher than her because these two provide chip damage. Marty, he can basically carry anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think I think, like, just beyond, like, the chapters that, the starting chapters where you use these guys before you get to the Munster arc, those are, like, the only chapters those guys are mostly useful for.
Pretty much. And, like, yeah, they're pretty much useful for that, and then, like, Tanya is just a hindrance in 8X. Because her positioning is just awful.
Mm-hmm.
Ronin, he's a mage in an archer's body.
Yeah, but maybe he was intentionally designed that way. Who knows?
I mean, I believe it was intentionally designed that way, but still, like, unless they like had a shining bow that I'm missing, that's not the best thing. And Marty, he's a meme in the community. We all know him. First playable brigand, strength, HP, and build right up the wazoo, but just barely any gross butt, though. He's basically the Arden of Thracia.
I'd actually say he's worse than Arden.
I mean, actually, yeah, I actually can agree there, because, you know, Arden, at least Arden's served a purpose that only he could serve in FE4. In Thracia, there's a whole bunch of other high build units that will eventually have better stats and higher build for them to be capture bots.
Mm-hmm. Right. Someone like Dagdar?
Yeah, who I'd say belongs in A rank.
A rank? I would put him, like, maybe S.
I mean, I'd say he's, like, low S, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, he's, like, high A, low S.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think he's S rank, I'd say put him in S rank, but
yeah, as
more people get added along, I'd say he's, like, one of the most bottom of the S ranks, you know?
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, but he's good, and I've even used him in, like, late game. Like, after not using him for a while, I'll just field him in late game sometimes, and he's useful.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Like,
it doesn't hurt to have him.
It also helps that this game is a flat stat cap game, where it's like 20 is the max. and he already comes close to capping that.
Right.
Close to like capping most of his stats. So yeah, having like a person that's like in the 10s from the get-go, and like even if he doesn't gain much for his levels, he's still consistently great. That's low S, because there are people that will gain more than him and will surpass him somewhat.
Right.
But he's still an amazing unit.
Definitely. Who do we want to talk about next? I guess Evil, since we're talking about the quote-unquote Jagans. Average?
I'd put her at C.
Why C? Okay.
The reason I say C, I mean C or low B, the reason I say C is because she's gone for most of the game, and even though she's got a good, like, strength and a speed stat, she does get outclassed by, like, most of the sword units that do join later on.
Right.
Like, she is, like, it's really her availability that hurts her more than anything.
That's true. One thing she's got going for her is that she can kill all the bosses when you have her, which is useful, and she's more reliable at doing that than Dagdar.
That is true.
Yeah, especially with the flame sword. So she has that going for her. And she is almost capped in, like, speed and skill, maybe? I could be wrong on that, but
yes.
When she does rejoin you, I guess her bases aren't too terrible, save for the HP. I think, like, if she had, like, higher HP when she rejoined or something like that, then she'd probably be a heck of a lot. Like, I think that would help her, at least in the durability department.
Yeah, she has 18 skill and 20 speed when she joins, so
yeah.
I mean, yeah, she's mostly speedy, and that's her thing.
Yeah.
And you're right, the flame sword does help in the early game, you know. She's like, but unlike the Marty Party people, which are good in early game and then fall off, she doesn't completely fall off. You could still take her to end game and she'd be just fine. She wouldn't be the best for end game, but she's still pretty good for end game.
Yeah. I think she would. What's her base strength?
8.
8.
Oh wait, 9.
Okay. I mean that's not terrible, I guess.
Yeah.
I think, like, low B for her. Like, I would say Fred is, like, high to mid B, and then Ava is, like, low B.
That makes sense to me, actually.
Alright, let's talk about our Lord and Savior. Give me Leif or give me grief.
I'd say he goes in, like, I feel like he's severely underrated.
He is, quick story.
Honestly,
you know in chapter 17 where Sias shows up in Route A, and then, like, all those armor knights attack you?
Yeah.
I put Leif on the front lines because I wasn't sure who else to put on the front lines, and he just, like, with the King's Sword, he just went at him and crit hitted any armor knight that went at him, and I'm like, okay, I'll take this.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I forget, what's his personal critical coefficient?
I think it's just 1.
Okay, I thought he had more. I'm double checking that right now, because I've got the wiki up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, his personal critical coefficient is 2.
Oh, I thought it was 1. Maybe I'm thinking of Nana then.
Yeah, Nana is 1.
Yeah. But Leif,
yeah.
I would personally put him above Dagdar.
Yes, exactly. I was gonna say he was another high. honestly, like, I was gonna say he's gonna be like either S or super top of the A. But I think S is the best place for him.
Yeah,
because you know he's the only person. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but he's the only person that can't get fatigued. He's like, he's one of your most important units, and he actually still holds up for himself, which is something that you can rarely say for a lord.
Right. Well, for me, he has the light brand, which is useful, so he can attack without potentially getting counterattacked, and having 1 to 2 range on a weapon is really nice. And another thing is that I think of all the characters in the game, he probably benefits the most for this from getting stat boosters. So if you give him like the life ring, the speed ring, and the shield ring early on, then he like benefits from that a lot, because he just becomes more durable, and so you don't have to worry about him, like, you know, getting hit by ballista all the time or whatever. Like, I think like with those alone, like, he can tank ballista better.
I mean, those few early game stat boosts that if you give them to Leif, that's pretty much all he needs from then on, because you don't have, because like, I hate comparing him to other lords, but a lot of other lords, especially in later games, unless your name is like Dimitri or Ike, then you kind of need stat boosters to help you carry, because they start off with like really bad bases. Leif starts off with decent bases that just need a little bit more of a boost, and those bases that he needs boost in are the first items that you're given.
I wouldn't even say that he has decent bases. I think I would say that he has like a little bit below average bases, because like he can't even double enemies in the first chapter. Like, he needs like one or 2 more points of speed before he can double things, I think. I could be wrong though. But even then, like, he benefits from the stat boosters the most. And so, and I know that's like a little bit of favoritism, but even if he didn't have those stat boosters, he would still be decent. And another useful, or like something that most people tend to do, is that they'll give him the King's Sword, and so he'll basically give charisma to everyone. And he also supports a lot of characters, so like even Ronin and Finn and I don't know who else, Marita and Nana, I think, and Tina.
I've got all of his supports. He supports Finn, Avail, Ronin, Sophia, Dulcin, Asbel, Nana, Hicks, Carrion, Silvina, Olwyn, Tina, Lenoan, Miranda, Sarah, and Xavier.
So, a lot of supports. So he's basically a support bot.
Yeah, before support bots really... Actually, support bots have kind of been around since Fire Emblem 3.
Yeah.
Because there's been, like, there's been bond boosts since that. Well, kind of since Gaiden, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, but he has a lot going for him, even if you don't give him the stat boosters, because he's got that personal weapon. And he also gets he's guaranteed to have at least 1 leadership star throughout most of the story, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets that from Augustus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
honestly, okay, I'm gonna ask a question, because this is gonna be a hot topic. Olwyn.
What about her?
Yes. Where would you place her? Because there's always the debate that she is worth... Because a lot of people will say that she's worth killing just to get Ilios.
Or skipping, because you could also just skip the chapter and not get her at all.
Yeah, but would you say that she's... Where would you place her, and would you say that she's worth it compared to Ilios?
I would say so. She does require a little bit more investment than Ilios, which is her downside. But you get a bolting user really early on. Like, she only needs a couple kills with, like, Thunder or Dime Thunder, and then she can use A rank of Thunder magic, and you just steal boltings, and she basically becomes really useful because of bolting.
And also, speaking of Dime Thunder, because I don't try to include, like, weapons anyone can use when ranking a character, but Dime Thunder, she's the only playable unit that can use it.
Right.
And that's a really, I mean, it's kind of a low hit tome, but still a brave magic tome is really good.
Yes, it definitely is good.
So, I would honestly, would you say, I don't think she's near S, but I'd say she's like, I'd at least say she's like either low A or high B. Where would you say?
I put her in high B.
Yeah. Because
I don't think she quite fits A rank. And since we're on the topic of Olin versus Ilios, I don't know. It's really hard. I honestly want to put Olin up higher, just like a notch higher than Ilios, just because of availability alone.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Ilios is a severely overrated unit.
Above Fred.
Above Fred. I almost want to say jokingly don't separate Olin and Fred, but because this is a legitimate tier list.
Fine. No. You get Fred earlier too.
Yeah, exactly.
Personal bias, Olin and Fred, one notch higher than Ilios.
Yes.
I actually have cipher cards of these two.
Oh, I need to look online to order cipher cards, because, yeah. I've been starting a Jugdral collection of the physical ones.
Yeah, I mostly have Jugdral cards, surprisingly, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I've got another candidate that I'm not would you disagree with me for Gods That Be that Ocean belongs in Gods That Be?
Nah. Below Finn, probably, but...
yeah.
Yeah,
but
just like...
Here's the...
Yeah.
I actually say he'd be above Finn, because here's one thing we've got to consider. There's a lot of indoor maps in Thracia.
Oh, yeah.
And Finn, while Finn is good, he can't use his Brave Lance indoors. Ocean, he's just like... Or Ocean, however you pronounce his name. He's just like, I've got this Poochie. Here you go, you've got no head anymore.
Well, even without the Poochie, he can still, like, hit really hard with, like, almost any axe.
Because doesn't he have, like, a 5 personal critical coefficient?
Maybe. It's either that or it's 4.
I'm looking at it real quick. Oh, it's a 3. It's still times 3, which is still amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, times 3 is good.
And he comes with Wrath anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Because Wrath in this game is just busted, where it's like, oh, I'm counterattacking you, critical. So, yeah, good. And also, axes are one of... And this is the first time that axes are really, like, one of the best weapons.
Yes.
So, because in every Fire Emblem before this, like FE4, you had Lex, who was a good unit, but he is just locked behind axes, which purposely are the worst weapon in the game.
Right, but he had the Brave Axe, which made up for it.
Yeah, but still, even then, that wasn't as good as other Brave weapons. But in this game, in Thracia, axes are just straight up, hey, let's throw in a bunch of, like, let's make axes, because a lot of these people are just common people, and axes are the most common weapon to pick up for a common woodcutter. Let's make these really good, because these are what most people in Thracia's commoners would know what to use.
Yeah. And axes are good. speaking of axes, Alvin.
I don't think he's in a Gods That Be, but
he is not. He's not. I wouldn't even say he's S tier, if I'm being honest.
I'd say he's A.
Yeah, like, well, we'll see where he lies once we get more people in the A tier.
The thing is, like, he gives you the Brave Axe, but the Brave Axe is not exclusively his, unlike the Vouge.
Right, and that Brave Axe, in my opinion, so I'll save that for when we actually transition to the next character I want to talk about. But, so Alvin, he actually starts off slightly better in the bases department, I want to say, than Ocean. But he has Vantage. I think he has a lower PCC. I mean, which isn't bad by any means, but he's just average-ish.
Yeah.
Like, he's above average though, because he is useful early on, and he can still be useful throughout the entire game if you want to use him. Just most people don't opt to use him because there's Ocean, who has the Pooji, which makes him like 10 times better.
I mean, honestly, the thing is that Alvin does have better HP. You see, the thing is that Alvin and Ocean's stats are actually pretty close. It's just that Alvin is just one level above Ocean.
Okay.
Because Alvin, but they have a very similar growth too. Like, I'm looking at them. Yeah, like Alvin has less HP growth, but only by 5%.
Yeah, so that's not really that significant then.
Yeah, exactly. They're basically identical. The only difference is their personal critical coefficients and the Vouge.
Yeah, so because of that, that's what bumps Ocean way up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, so who is the next unit you want to talk about?
So, best user of Brave Axe, or one of the best users of the Brave Axe, except for Dagdar, is Dhalshin.
Dhalshin!
Yes.
Where are we putting him?
What do you think?
I think that, like, here's the thing. Armors in this game are actually pretty good. Compared to,
other games.
Compared to other games, because, again, you see, games with dismount are where armors truly shine. Because if you have an armor, most armors can use pretty much any weapon upon promotion. Because they gain, like, bows, axes, and lances. And most lances aren't available to be used indoors. And yes, I know that even Dhalshin's axe locked at first, but that's still a pretty big point in his favor. Right.
Yeah, so it's good, but I would say that, like, past the Munster arc, I think, like, there's a lot of things, like, not doing him a lot of favors afterwards, because, well, I guess, like, Dagdar's Manor isn't a bad place for him to be in, but places where there's ballista and stuff, you'd think that, oh, I have this high armored unit, maybe the ballista will be more likely to go for him. No.
No.
Especially in outdoor maps, so, yeah. I mean, tankiness is good, but I feel like just because of his lower movement than other units, he's not the best. I only find him good with the Brave Axe in the Munster arc, because then he can capture things that no one else can't. Which is useful on its own.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say put him in C rank, because he's not a Marty Party unit.
No. He's useful. He has his uses. There, I said it.
Yeah.
I can't speak.
What is language?
Yes. What is language?
But yeah, sorry, Chaz. He's not gonna be put higher than C.
Who do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Lara.
S.
Yes,
S. Above or below Leif?
I'd say, below Leif.
Okay, but above Dagdar, probably.
Yeah, because here's the thing, because she is a thief that turns into a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the thing, and she still gets pretty, and here's the thing, a dancer, in my opinion, will never belong anywhere but either highest or second highest rank, because that's just how good they are.
Yes. The thing with her is that she doesn't become a dancer until much later, so that kind of hinders her a little bit. But the fact that she's still a utility unit with lockpicking and potentially stealing if she can, that's not by all means bad at all. That just, those are just bonuses.
She's, honestly, she's good at stealing vulneraries in the early game, which are important.
Right, and she can also be used as capture bait.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing, capture bait is kind of severely underrated.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wish I did that more with, in my earlier parts of my Let's Play, but now it's like, well, I didn't, but now I know about it now for next time, at least.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Lara, good.
You know, while we're on the thief train, what about Lifis? I would say, if Lara's S, then he is, like, really high S.
Yeah, I want to put him above Leif.
Place him and then, do that, yeah. So yeah, he is definitely above Leif, because here's the thing, Lifis has great build as well.
Mm-hmm. So he can steal a couple of magic tomes, so he can steal wind, fire, and thunder, which is useful.
Well, not only that, he also has a good, build growth, which allows him to steal other weapons, like, not just magic tomes, but legitimate weapons.
Mm-hmm. He can also steal rapiers at base.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Honest, yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about Lithis, or should we move on to the final thief?
Let's move on to the final thief, because because I think he's even better than Lifis.
Yeah. Although he joins later. He joins later. That's a problem, though.
It's not really a problem, because here's the thing, he's already promoted.
But lower availability.
Honestly, he joins in chapter 12 of 25. That's still 13 chapters to use a level 3 rogue that has 8 build and can steal a lot of stuff. He's got higher speed than Lifis.
Mm-hmm. He has more build. He can steal killing edges at base, I think.
Yeah, he can steal killing edges at base. And honestly, yeah, he just has a lot more stuff that he can do with than Lifis. He kind of is Lifis will be much better built by the time you get him, but if you're doing if you're doing 0% growths or anything like that, Pern is definitely, they're kind of tied is my problem.
I put him below just because of availability.
Yeah, okay, that's perfectly fair, because I'm going back to Lifis, even in the Master arc, he's still available.
Right. And then with Lara, I'd put her now that I think about it, I'd put Lara above Pern, because she's also more available, too. Yeah. And then she also gets the dancer utility when you recruit him, so it's I feel like Lara is better than Pawn, and then Lithis is the best because he's your early thief, and he'll probably be like your best thief throughout the game because well, you get him for like you get him for the entire game pretty much, and so that right there is just good utility, or like a good thing in his favor.
Yeah, that honestly, I think that makes sense. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah.
You know what? Because we're on a thief tear right now, how about we do Tina?
Tina. Okay.
She has the thief's, like that thief staff.
Right.
And that can steal anything pretty much regardless of weight.
Yeah. Well, but you'd have to take into account for the magic. And she doesn't have really good magic to start off, so it's like she can't steal everything. You'd have to like use a magic water or a holy water on her, or an ensorcel staff. That's a magic up staff. You'd have to use that on her. But her utility staves are good. She's just... I think the problem with her is she's not going to be seen a whole... at least with how I play, she hasn't been seen a whole lot of use. Like, I've only fielded her for like 1, maybe 2 chapters.
Honestly, I field her pretty much any chance I get because the thief staff is just that good. And yes, she doesn't have that great of magic to start with, but she's got a 50% magic growth, so it's pretty easy for her to gain magic. Plus, she gains 3 magic upon promotion.
If you can get her that far. The one problem I find with Tina, and actually the problem also kind of applies, if I'm being honest, to Salem and Linoan, is that it's really hard to get their staff rank up, and it's also really difficult to get them to at least level 10 to promote them. So, and like trying to do that while like micromanaging all your units, and then it's like you got Sophia, and then you got Sleuth, and then you got Sarah. It's like it's easier for them to do other things. Like, I know Tina has like the utility staves, but for me, it's really difficult to find a place to use her sometimes. I think like the only times where I find her super useful is like if there is a weapon on a map that you really want stolen.
I mean, that's fair.
But that also depends on the player too.
I just know that for a lot of strats, a lot of people invest in Tina because like one of the biggest meme strats I've seen is the Berserk Reinhardt strat, which involves Tina a lot of the time.
Yeah. Because
like Tina's one of your best solo staff users, because you brought up Salem.
Mm-hmm.
And Salem, you're not really going to be leveling up his staff rank as much because he's more of a combat unit.
Kinda.
Yeah. But, you know what? I think I can see where you're going with this, but I'd still put her in high A.
Yeah, no, I would.
Because healers, soul healers, and staff units in this game are just... Oh, my microphone moved. Healers in this game are just that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she can never be as good as her sister.
Nope.
I gotta put Sifia is up there. She's high up there.
Oh, I agree. Like, she's one of those gods that be type units. Like, her repairs, she gives you the Hermern right off the bat.
Yes. Hermern, she can use warp, not right away, but by the time you get warp, she'll probably be able to use it, unless you're me, and you have to wait until, like, I don't know, chapter 11 or something like that, before she finally learns how to use it.
I mean, that's still pretty good, because Chapter 11, again, this is a 25 plus chapter game because you also have to incorporate the guidance.
Right.
And so, yeah, she is really... So yeah, Sophia's just one of those gods that be, because she also starts off with C-rank staves.
Mm-hmm. No.
And she's all...
Wait, isn't it B? I think it's B.
No, it's C rank with 40 points into it.
Okay.
So she's like halfway to B. So she'll get to B super quick.
Mm-hmm. And then she just needs A.
Yes. But you see, like most players will get her to A pretty quick. Her only flaw, and this isn't too much of a flaw, is that, because this isn't something we've been bringing up, is how easily people get fatigued. And Sophia's one of those that gets fatigued pretty easily.
Yes. And that's why you get so many staff units.
Yep. Because, other staff units also don't get fatigued that easily. I almost said Sleuth indirectly, but I meant to say other staff units. But Sleuth, I was having a conversation about that guy earlier. That's why he just pops into mind so much.
Yeah. I think for the most part, a lot of the staff units, they have low HP mostly, but since you get so many, that kind of offsets it a little.
Yeah. But yeah, so the gods that be, yeah, Sophia belongs there. Other gods that be.
Other gods that be?
Fergus.
Fergus and Asvel.
Yes. Because the thing is that, like, Asvel, he's just insane off the bat. Like, even if you promote him at level 10, I put him next to Orson. He is...
And then I put Fergus, like, right below.
Yeah. Because the great thing about Fergus is that he's the only person that doesn't... He's one of the only units that doesn't really suffer from dismount.
Yep.
And...
He's also just good. I think, like, he's a couple points away from getting B rank in swords, so you can use the flame sword really quickly, and use the brave sword, and then, like, you get him to A, and then it's like he can use every sword, and he's golden.
Yeah.
And he also has a PCC of 5. Does he have a movement star? Well, I don't think, like, the movement stars necessarily matter, though, because those are basically just RNG based. But, he gets a mount, but he doesn't get harmed a lot when he dismounts. And then with Asvel, I put him higher, just because Graph Caliber is insane, and he promotes into a Sage, and Sage promo bonuses are insane.
Yeah. But yeah, and also, Asbel, yeah, the Sage bonuses are insane, and, pretty much he uses it, and pretty much he isn't screwed over by any magic, really. Another thing I was gonna say, yeah, Fergus does have one movement star, so does Asbel. Because, and, Asbel also has a critical, coefficient of 3. With wind magic that's already crit heavy.
Right. Yeah, I would say Asvel is easily one of the best boss killers in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
There's not... I'm trying to think of... There's nothing really else to say about them. I'm just thinking who we could move on to next.
Let's talk about Matcha and Brighton.
Oh, yeah, Matcha and Brighton. I'd put Matcha... I would say, high C, low B, really.
I'd put her... If I'm being honest, I'd put her maybe just above Dalshan and then Brighton above her.
Honestly, I agree, because, like, even though Brighton does have Wrath, he has E rank in swords, and he's a mounted unit in a game that is not the kindest mounted units unless you're like Finn or Silvina.
Or Fergus.
Or Fergus, yeah.
Yep.
And he really takes a detriment from that, like, because here's the thing, he has Wrath, but if he's sword locked with how many indoor chapters there are, that's not going to be that good, because swords aren't that powerful. Like,
yeah.
Those swords, like, would you rather be able to use a hefty, powerful axe to instantly crit, or would you like to instantly crit with a sword that would deal high damage, but probably won't kill?
I think the problem is that it's, not the fact that, not just the fact that he's locked to using swords indoors, but another thing is that he can't use high rank swords. That's part of the problem. I wouldn't say that it's like, he can use swords indoors, because, like, you know, he can, like Finn, but Finn, basically, I guess, like, comparing to Alfred can use high rank swords, so he's good indoors. But Brighton, on the other hand, no.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's
exactly.
another problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you really have to baby his sword rank. Like, I remember, like, I did this unintentionally. My second run of Thracia, I had Brighton end up with, like, C rank swords at the end of the Munster arc. Because I was taking forever and capturing everything in sight.
Yeah, that's one thing I wouldn't do in Thracia.
Yeah, I learned that. But,
Yep.
One second.
Okay, I guess, next units. Hicks, we could talk about pretty quickly. I wouldn't put him in Marty Party. Maybe I would.
Actually, yeah, I would, because he's just not that good. I've used him because I like to use everyone, but yeah, he's just not that good.
Definitely better than Marty. Yeah, he's better than all of them, I would say. Because, like, these guys provide reliable chip damage. Yeah, actually, no. He's better than Marty, lower than these two.
I'm looking at Hicks right now.
I think he has slightly better bases than Brighton, but Brighton has Wrath. And Hicks doesn't have any... Yeah, he doesn't have any skills.
He comes with no skills, he's got really low speed. His only thing he has going for him is his 2 personal critical coefficient.
Yeah. Which I don't think is doing him any favors, if I'm being honest.
It really isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, because these two, they see a lot more use in Hicks, if I'm being honest. Like, Hicks, he's only good in, like, the very last chapter of the Munster arc, in my opinion. But, like, even then, he's still iffy. Whereas, like, these two, they're gonna see more use than him. Like, yeah.
And honestly, they'll also see more use, I'd say, because it's been, like, a long while, so... It's been a long while since I've gotten this far into Thracia, but, isn't there some, like, flyer-heavy maps?
One. There's, like, one for... Yeah, there's, like, one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's just, like, that one, and it's not that, like, quote-unquote flyer-heavy.
Yeah, but they're still nice to deal with said flyers, even with Silvina, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. Do we want to talk about Silvina?
Yeah, let's talk about Silvina since we're talking about archers. I'd say she's in, honestly, I want to put her in B.
B?
Like, I don't think, I think she's like, actually no, I'm debating between B or A, because she does get...
Yeah, she gets the brave bow. Actually, I think, like, one thing that I would say is good about her is that, she actually benefits from having lower HP. She's like because I know, like, charge is good, but at the same time, it can hurt someone like her. So, the fewer HP level up she gets, I know that sounds like really weird, but the fewer HP level up she gets, the less likely she's gonna put herself at risk.
Yeah.
At least, like, if she's in a ballista range. If she's not in a ballista range, then it's fine.
Yeah, that's fair, like, because it is weird that she's an archer with charge, and charge is not a skill that you really want to have on a person that can't be attacked from one range.
Right.
But
I put her in high B. I would say
she's like the... I'm just gonna say this, I feel like she's the highest of the Bs. Like, I feel like she's just barely teetering on A rank.
Yeah. Whereas her husband, I'd put him in low A. Because he's good at combat. He's like Finn, but not as good. But he's still good. So, Finn 2.0. He's got a leadership star, he can use lances, he's pretty much almost exactly like Finn, except he doesn't have the Brave Lance and he joins later.
Yeah, he is basically a replacement Finn, like, if you do end up, like, getting Finn killed, or something like that, he's basically a replacement Finn.
But no Brave Lance.
Yeah, no Brave Lance, which is his biggest detriment and only puts him at A rank.
Yeah. Although, from at least how I've been playing Thracia, his wife is a better combat unit. Yeah. But then again, like, I only field Glade for leadership, and then I field Silvina because Brave Bow and Killer Bow, and she can use all the bows. Like, yeah, she pretty much can use all the bows.
Yeah. That's true.
And
you know what, actually, I'm just gonna say this because this is, I feel like I'm going back to Silvina for a second. Let's put her in A because she can dismount and still use her bows.
Right.
And you see, I feel like if you can dismount and still use your weapon, you are really good.
And I don't think she definitely gets dismount penalties, but I don't think they're terribly harsh.
They really aren't.
Yeah. I guess, like, the only thing, bad is her crippling strength. So, the only thing, I would, like, the only way to fix that is obviously putting investment with her and scrolls, but other than that, like, she gets the Brave Bow, which is useful on its own, so, I mean, I don't think that's terrible.
Yeah. And that, again, Brave Bow indoors and not having to use... Because I know the Brave Bow isn't locked exclusively to her, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, but then again, who else is going to use it? Ronin? Tanya?
I mean, I've seen Mecha do it.
Well, yeah. Well, Mecha also likes to meme, so...
Hey, I like to meme too, but if I'm gonna be memeing, it's with Marita, so...
Fair.
Fair. We'll save Marita for later, though. Who do you want to... Do you want to talk let's do the 4 flyers. We have 4, right? We have Karen, we have Dean and Etta, and then we have Misha.
Yeah, honestly, I would put, Karen at a, I'm trying to decide because I like her, but she is not one of the best, she falls off really quick, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I don't think that necessarily matters. Like, I find her combat to be, like, it doesn't matter. Her combat does not matter. What makes her good is the flying utility that she serves for you in the outdoor maps. Especially when you're trying to reach other places. And because of that, because she's your early flyer, she's also the best candidate for the leg ring. Because then, I think on chapter 10, she can, like, fly to the house that has the magic up staff, the ensorcel staff, and then canto back with enough movement. And if she didn't have the leg ring, then if she were to canto back, she'd be in the range of the ballista. But if you give her the leg ring, then she can canto back and she'd be safe.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one place, but that can be applied for almost anything. Like, she can ferry units. If you need that, she can, like, she pretty much can reach anywhere where no one can't, like, faster. So, yeah. I put her above Tina.
Yeah, okay, let's put her above Tina. That's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because I really don't have much to say about Karen. Like, she's good, but I just feel like she falls off, like, but she doesn't fall off bad enough to put her in, like, B or even C tier. So, yeah, I'd say A.
Yeah. And, like I said, I wouldn't say she falls off necessarily because I find her combat doesn't even matter that much. I think, like, if you use her just enough, like, to cap her speed, at least, or, like, almost cap her speed, then she'll be fine. Because then you could just unequip her with, like, you could just have her be unequipped. She can't get captured. And so, like, if she's having to, like, go up against, like, other enemies, you could put her, like, in a forest or something like that, and she can somewhat reliably dodge tank. And she also supports Fergus. So if you field them both together, she can keep up with him. She can pretty much keep up with him and fly with him, basically, and support him. So there's another bonus that actually is more so in Fergus's favor, but
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Dean.
Can we talk about Etta real quickly, though?
Oh, Etta,
I feel like she serves the very same purpose as Karen, just a little bit worse. She might actually be, like, worse. Right here.
Yeah, I would say, like, honestly, she is the worst of your 4 flyers.
Actually, no, Misha. Misha's probably the worst.
Misha's the worst only because she's got in my opinion, Misha's the worst because you've got to pierce Stefan's tier recruitment for her. Because
I wouldn't put that so much, but I would say that since you already have, like, Misha feels redundant. Karen and Etta are fine, and then Dean is, well, Dean.
Yeah, Dean is
even, like, up here.
Yeah, Dean is one of the best flyers in the game. Like, hands down, like, because he, like, they retain, like, can't, I forget if, let me look up Dean real quick.
Yeah. And I guess, like, I guess for anyone watching, I feel like, sometimes our opinions will be inconsistent, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Because there is some opinionated parts in this, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm glad that's not just pure, I'm glad that's not just pure, factual, that we do include some opinion in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, honestly, if we wanted to just do a pure, like, you know, factual tier list, I don't feel like that'd be as fun. But
no.
Yeah, one thing that puts, Dean in S rank, I know that I keep bringing this up, but again, there's a lot of indoor maps, and Dean starts with A-rank swords.
Yeah, so he can use pretty much every sword like he can use every lance.
Yes, so it's a perfect swap-off for him.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is that in outdoor maps, he's really good at capturing, like, enemies that no one else can't really capture. Because, like, he can just fly over, shoop, and then come back.
Yeah.
That's... Yeah, I find that to be, like, the most useful in Chapter 17A, where it's, like, you have, like, the one, Dark Bishop who has, like, the Warp Staff and the Fenrir, so it's like, you silence him, bring Dean over, grab him, fly back.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, I know it's just one point, but, yeah, and, it definitely is recommended for him to pick up the, Dragon Pike, or the Dragon Lance or whatever, that he gets from Altina. I know a lot of people, I know it's like a hassle to get, but if you don't mind wasting like a warp and a rescue staff to get it, then it's not that bad. Because it's worth it.
Do you even get a rescue when that chapter happens?
In Chapter 14? Yeah. You get a rescue staff in Chapter 10, I believe.
Oh yeah, that I broke mine in my last run. That's why I didn't have it. I was like, wait, I don't remember there being a rescue. Oh wait, I broke it. That's why my strategy to get Dean that lance from Altena never worked out, because I couldn't rescue him straight away.
Or you could use the Hammer staff. Was that a little too loud?
I was fatigued.
Stamina drink.
I already used that up. My last run went really awfully, but that's a whole other story.
Okay.
But yeah, since what about Misha? I feel like let's just put Misha in the B ranks, because I don't think she's C.
No.
But she's definitely one of the low. Put her above a Veil.
Yeah, above.
At the very least.
Yeah.
Because at least she doesn't disappear for most of the game.
Mm-hmm. And she can't, I think she has an A rank in swords. It's either that or it's B. So she can use decent swords on indoor maps, which I have done, but I still find like her combat to be very middling. So like compared to yeah, like I guess like what puts her lower is just the fact that she comes very late, and you already have Dean, you already have Edda, you already have Karen, so it's like, why deploy a fourth flyer unless, I guess like the only times where I see it is the others are fatigued, and in Chapter 19 where you have to escape. Like the really, really long, very, very, very long vertical map.
Yeah.
She's useful in that, but other than that, she becomes more hassle to use compared to the others, at least in my opinion.
I can definitely agree there. But I think that's really all I have to say about Misha, because she's not someone I've really used. I've recruited her, but not someone I've really used. Yeah,
I've used her in the run of Thracia, my very first run of Thracia that I never finished, and now my Let's Play is my second run, and I'm definitely finishing it. But I've used Misha in my first run, and she was decent. I mean, she was good filler too on some maps that I used her in. So,
yeah.
But
real quick, I've got 3 people that I think kind of belong in Marty Party.
Who?
Feel free to disagree. The 3 Cavaliers that joined with Silvina.
You mean the 2 Cavaliers and the Archknight?
Yes.
Here.
Because they're high Marty Party, but they're still Marty Party.
Yeah. Actually, maybe Robert's like below these two. Because these two join early.
They join early. Their biggest problem is they're level 1 units that late into the game. Like, I know it's... I mean, you can't... I know I wouldn't call Chapter 9 late, usually. And unlike their other cohort, Carrion, or Callion, they don't have really any benefit to training them, whereas Callion gets... And even though this isn't... Callion is pretty good on his own. Like, he's one of, like, those units that's really worth training up.
Right, but it's... With Callion, he's really hard to train, though. So, like, with Callion, I'd put him maybe, like, here, because he's better than Brighton, but he's not... He's, like, still below average.
Very true.
Yeah. Although, you were on Chapter 9 with me, and you saw what, I can't even distinguish these two because they're so fucking forgettable. Pardon my language, but, I think it was this guy who, like, tanked a bunch of hits, or, like, dodge tanked a bunch of hits.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah. Kane, I think. Kane?
Yeah, that one's Kane, the other one's Alva.
Yeah. But yeah, like, even then, I don't find them worth using. Like, you get Finn, you have Fergus as well, and then later you get Glade, and you also have Silvina, so it's like, you pretty much have replacements for all of these guys.
Pretty much.
And also you get Fred, who's superior to Callion, so there's that too. You literally get, like... You literally get, like, other units that are superior to these four.
And the thing is, they get one-up. They're either one-upped right off the bat, or you get a unit that just one-ups them pretty much instantaneously. But yeah, that's about all I can really say for those guys.
Nana?
You know, Nana. Okay. Harsh take. I would put her in B.
Excuse me?
What?
Earth Sword. Healing Staves. Charisma! I know the Earth Sword is heavy.
All of those are perfectly fine, but got much better healers in Sophia, Tina, Sleuth, even Salem, Sarah, Sias, and you've got better sword use than her, even with her own patented Earth Sword that heals herself. Like, yes, she's got a good personal weapon, but she's just in, like, experience, not been as good as her constituent.
Okay. Low A. Because okay, honestly, I was gonna put her like an S. I don't know, I just find her useful, but then again, I might be a little bit biased, but I just find Charisma Bot to be useful, and the fact that she has a mount, and, well, I may have given her Wrath, but she actually doesn't see use in that anyways, so, I don't know.
Actually, I'm thinking, you know, since you're putting her in A, I am thinking more about it. Another thing, because I will continuously bring this up. This is, like, you could make a, if you're doing, like, any intense editing of this, of the times I bring up indoor maps. Because she is super good in indoor maps, because she is an attacker and it keeps her indoor maps, because she uses both swords and staves, both mounted and dismounted. So.
Yes.
But the thing is that, like, honestly, she still doesn't deserve S, but I'd put her above, like...
You're cutting out.
Oh, okay. I said put her above Silvina.
Okay.
Because, she's still really good, But you see, you will have never seen her get her staff rank higher than C.
No.
And
I mean, you're probably lucky if you get her to C.
Yeah, exactly. And
whereas, like, with Amalda, I would say Amalda's slightly better.
Oh yeah, Amalda
just in
is
that.
definitely...
Just in bases alone, Amalda's slightly better. She has C rank and staves, which is good. Although you have Nana a little bit longer, so maybe, like, Nana's just slightly better.
They're kind of honestly in the same. They're kind of honestly like both very similar. So yeah, A rank where they are is pretty good.
Sloof.
I'm going to talk about Sloof.
Who were you going to talk about?
I was going to talk about Ralph.
Ralph.
I would also put him in A because he is severely underrated. He joins at a great time.
Yes.
He comes with amazing bases and weapon rank. Because I'm looking him up right now.
I think it has like B in swords and C in axes.
A in swords and halfway to B in axes.
Okay.
And he joins with 12. His lowest stat is magic, obviously, but like he joins with 12 strength, 12 skill, 14 speed, high enough build, and 9 defense.
Yeah, I would say he's easily like if Ocean, and if you're also using Alvin, if you're having to bench them because they're fatigued, then Ralph is a good replacement.
Yeah.
Where would you put him though? Because I can't decide.
Honestly, I would put him, actually the bottom of A is where he belongs. I'll concede there.
Okay. Yeah, because Glade and Silvina, they have more things going for them. Ralph is just good filler. But he's still good.
Yeah. I say Ralph honestly is a 3 out of 5 unit, which is...
Well, 3 out of 5 is more like right here. So he's like...
I meant to say 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Which is why I say he's bottom A.
Okay.
But yeah,
Alright. Sloof?
And Sloof, yes. S. I say he's S easily, because he joins low level, but he comes with A rank in staffs.
Yeah, you don't even need to bother promoting him.
Yeah, most people don't. I would put him, honestly, keep him slightly below Leif. Like, just one below Leif.
Okay.
Because he's that good. He'll die if you get him into combat, but but that doesn't matter, because if you're getting your healer into combat, you're doing something wrong in the first place.
Yes. I very much agree. Unless you're like Linoan or Sarah or Salem and you're trying to get them to level 10 to promote them.
Yeah, but that's because Salem that's because their classes are amazing, and they kind of need their weapon ranks worked on. Sloof does not.
Yeah. Sarah.
I say she's an S as well.
I put her slightly below Sloof. But she starts off with B rank staves, so like you don't even have to bother training her her staff rank. You could just promote her to level. You could just get her to level 10, and she gets there really easily with Paragon because she has that. So you do that, you promote her, and then she gets +1 in staff rank, and bam, you got A rank staves, and she also gets Sage promos, which is really good.
Yeah, she's the best est in the entire franchise.
I would agree with you. Though I'm still slightly biased for Nino, but that's me.
Well, okay, Nino is the best character-wise for an est, but unit-wise, it's Sarah.
Yeah. Mostly because staff utility.
Yeah, staff utility, honestly, if you've noticed so far, there's not a single staff user that hasn't been lower than A. And that's only because they start off either really low and have a hard time getting their staff rank up. But if you join with a really good staff rank and you have good availability like Sophia, voila.
Yeah. You're set. I'm gonna lump Salem and Linoan together because they both fall under the same case and like a bit of a similar problem that they both have. So they are like Sarah in that when they promote, they get an extra staff rank, but they start off with C in staves instead of B, so they have to work a little bit more to get their weapon ranks. And I know Linoan has like she can't promote until she goes to a certain part, but I don't think that necessarily matters because I think by the time that she gets there, she'll be able to promote and she'll probably have A rank staff at that point anyways. Like, she'll just get it automatically. So, but the problem that I have with these two is that it's just so hard to train their staff rank.
Yeah, honestly.
But I'd still put them in S. Because it's
I would put them in S. Honestly, I'd put Salem in a slightly higher S rank because
joins earlier.
Well, not only that, dark magic is also much easier to come across than light magic.
Yeah. I think
because you don't really fight that many light mage users. You can't find light magic in the shops.
You can late in the game, but she gets Nosferatu, which is pretty terrible, but I think with them, it's just you don't really need to worry about them going into combat too much. It's more of the fact that if you're trying to get as many A rank staff users as possible, then worrying about their staff rank is what matters more.
Yeah.
So, but they start off with C rank, which isn't terrible. They can use sleep and physic at base, which is pretty good, and also restore and ensorcel, which is also good too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think that using light magic is necessarily a hindrance, because Linoan most likely isn't going to see combat anyways, and then the same applies for Salem. The only reason why I put Salem higher is the fact that he just joins like a little bit earlier than Linoan, so he has a little bit more time to get that more staff points than she does.
Yeah.
He's also slightly more durable, so he's less likely to get fatigued, which is nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when I say durable, he has more hit points.
I think he has slightly higher defense, too. Let me look up Salem.
Okay. I don't think the defense should necessarily matter, though, considering they are meant to be staff bots, and so they are meant to be kept far away from the front lines as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that, but he does start with a slightly bulkier defense, but only slightly bulkier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just the fact that he has higher HP too also makes him nice, so he can use more of the higher rank staves without getting worn out as quickly, unlike Linoan. So he has that in his favor because then he can use more staves more often, and so he can get that staff rank a lot faster.
Yeah, but yeah, they're just both pretty similar. It's just that Salem has slightly more availability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's really... you know what?
What?
I've got 2 units that deserve to be in Gods and B despite their late join time.
Who?
Zed and Galzus.
Okay.
For Zeddy.
Right, but who's better? Who's better?
Zed is definitely better.
Where'd you put him?
I would put him next to Asbel, really.
Okay.
Because, like, that Forseti is just that good. I mean, it's low usage, but he joins literally in the last 2 chapters of the game.
Yeah, that's true. And then with Galzus, I personally would put him below Fergus, just for me, because,
Fergus, honestly, is a better Galzus.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, slightly better Galzus.
Yeah.
Because Galzus, he joins at a capped level, but Fergus is more likely to cap everything, while Galzus, you are stuck with what he has.
I think Galzus has capped strength, skill, and speed. And he also has Astra and Luna.
Exactly. Galzus has...
Fergus joins earlier, like, a lot earlier, so I'd put that in his favor, because, if anything, like, depending on how Fergus turns out, he potentially could be better than Galzus.
I mean, most of the time he is better than Galzus, but Galzus is still insanely good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, well, since you clearly said that Sias isn't gods that be, where would you put him? Cause,
S.
Yeah. S. Where?
I'd actually put him in one of the high S's. Like, I'd put him, probably below Laura.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah. Because he has A rank and staves. That's about it.
A rank and staves.
He also comes with a lot of staves in his, utility kit. Like, I think he has warp and sleep and rescue, maybe? I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm looking up him right now. He has, he comes with warp, silence, and heal.
Okay, so he comes with an extra warp staff. Cool!
Yes. And he also has something that you will never see in Thracia outside of him for a playable unit.
What?
A rank in light magic, which I know light magic rank isn't important, but you see, if he's good light magic, because light magic is so rare,
he's not going to use it.
He's not really going to use it, but it's still nice to have that good combat ability, especially because he has 18 magic in endgame where it's majority mages.
Right. How many leadership stars does he have compared to Ced? Because I think they both have leadership stars, I want to say.
Ced... I'm looking up Ced real quick. Ced has 0 leadership. Oh wait, that's Genealogy of the Holy War. Ced has 1 leadership star.
And Sias has like 3?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's a slightly better leader.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, he's Mr. 10 leadership stars.
He should have kept those when he joined.
Yeah, but that just would have made things so broken.
It's endgame. When you reach endgame, you might as well be broken.
Yeah. I actually, like, if I'm being honest, if he had those 10 leadership stars, he'd probably be better than Ced.
Oh, he would be a god that
But no, that's not the case.
Because Ced comes with Forseti.
Yes.
Forseti trumps everything in all of Jugdral.
Forseti goes swoosh.
Yeah, Forseti goes swoosh.
Well, we've done all the magic users except for one more. My boy, Homer!
I would A. Where would you put him? I said I'd put him in A.
Probably A. I know a lot of people, I think, like, some people don't find him to be that useful, but I think he is. Just, like, in the fact that you can early promote him and he gets the Sage bonuses. And he also has Paragon, which is useful. Funny thing, if you promote him, he can use the Nosferatu tome.
Yeah.
So that's just like a funny meme thing to do with him. Yeah, I would put him...
I'd
put him
put him above Ralph, yeah.
Yeah, because
like, the lowest A's.
Because these two are there long, like one chapter more for Glade and a couple chapters for Silvina, but these have more time to use, and like Homer is like, you don't really need to use him. I just like using him for the memes, if I'm being honest.
And I'm also gonna bring up his chapter he joins in, chapter 14. He is a liability when he joins in chapter 14.
Depends on how you play it.
I say when he joins this. Well, actually, unless you have a rescue strap planned out for him, he will not be able to move away from the ballista that could instant kill him the first turn.
Or you have Owen use bolting. I'm serious. Like, Olin is good for sniping ballista. That's her whole point, is sniping ballista.
I know, and I'm just like, why did I not think of that? that's why I went silent, because I was like, why? Why did I not think of that?
So yeah, Olin... I have a use for Olin.
Actually, the more we think about it, I want to bump Olin up to A. Honestly, she's like, she is like, this might be my bias talking, but she's like bottom of the A tier.
Well, the only way for her to be able to snipe bolting is, ballista is, she would have to get that A rank in Thunder Magic, which isn't too far off, thankfully. And you'd also have to either have her use Holy Water or give her a couple magic rings, and then she'll be able to reliably snipe bolting, or ballista. Ballista, she'll be able to snipe with bolting. So there is some investment that that you would need, but I guess it's not a terrible hassle.
Yeah.
I'd still keep her in B though.
I would too.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a pretty much C tier unit that we could, or 2 C tier units to put in.
Who?
Trude. And even though I love this guy to death, Shanam.
Ah. Shanam makes sense, because free bargain skill, so free silver card. That's pretty much his whole gimmick.
Yeah, and the thing in Thracia is money is... put him in a high C, put him above Machua. I know that's insane to say, but the bargain skill is, in my opinion, just that much worth it.
Okay.
Because the thing is that the last couple of shops you can visit with him have really good stuff.
I think like one of the shops that you can visit also has Knight's proofs.
Yes, exactly. So get like a discount on Knight's proofs.
The only problem is that he is route locked, so you might not get him. But I don't think that necessarily matters. But I think like Route B is clearly inferior to Route A.
Yeah, it is. It is. The only things that you get in Route B really is another Vooge. And you can get, if you decide to use Marita like I always do, you can get Shanam to bullshit her into learning Astra.
You don't even need that in the B route. That's in chapter 15, right before the route split, so that doesn't even matter.
Actually, no, Marita learns Astra from Shanam.
Right, but he appears in chapter 15.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So, I'd put him, like, lower than Trude, because at least Trude is a serviceable unit. Shanam is just, like, a walking, silver card that, like, you might not even get.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're down to our last 5 people. Conamore.
Ooh.
Because his caveat is that you have to get Miranda and you have to use her.
Yeah.
Is he worth it compared to Amalda? I would say that he's like really, he's even below a Veil in B tier.
Okay.
Because he's not a C tier unit, but he is not a B tier unit either.
Okay.
Or he's not a high B tier unit is what I mean to say, not like...
Yeah. He does have a leadership star or two, which can be useful.
That is true. But honestly, you know, actually, I underestimate leadership stars, to be honest. Because that does help, but...
Even then, he's iffy.
Yeah, I'm just looking him up compared to Amalda real quick. Because Amalda has 1 leadership star, Connemore has... Okay, yeah, never mind. The only difference is, like... Yeah, Amalda is just a much better...
Yes.
Overall, because she comes with a Master Sword that she can use no matter what. Meanwhile, Connemore's like, hey, I've got a Master Lance. When are you gonna use that?
Yeah. Especially since, like, the very, like, last few maps of the game are mostly indoor. I think.
Yeah.
I think about half of them are indoor.
And unless you've got a promoted Dulcian or you're using Xavier... Which, bless you if you are.
Yeah. Speaking of Xavier. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you gonna say something?
No, you didn't cut me off. I was gonna say Xavier should be next. He is so hard because he's like a useful lance guy, but his recruitment and everything...
It's a pain. I mean, you can live without him, but if you do get him, which, wish me luck when I try later.
Just sleep sword him. That's what everyone does. That's the only proven effective method.
I have a sleep sword, so it's fine.
Yes.
I stole a sleep sword. Okay, funny thing. In my Let's Play, so I put Ilios to sleep so I could capture him for his stuff, right? I stole one of the cavaliers with him. I stole the sleep sword off of it with Tina. Then that cavalier goes and swipes Ilios's master sword, and I'm like, what? So I stole that too. Because it's like, I wanted that Master Sword, and you stole it, so now I'm gonna steal your other sword.
That's beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful.
Better than Ilios.
He's better than Ilios, yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much it. He has leadership stars, I think.
He does. He has, like... I forget his leadership stars, because... It's been forever since I've played full. He has 1 leadership star.
Okay.
Sadly, but you're not going to double with him anyway, but he has like 0 critical coefficient, so...
I mean, he has Wrath, so it's fine.
True.
Yeah.
Also, next person I want to bring up, because I think that's really all I can say about Xavier.
Same.
Dermot.
Dermot. I don't know how to freaking pronounce the name. Yeah, I like Dermot.
Oh, I know how to pronounce it.
Dermot. Oh, okay. I actually like that.
Yeah. I think it's Celtic.
I mean, that makes sense, because, like, a lot of Jugdral characters are based off of, like, Celtic and Norse.
Yeah. But honestly, I would rate him I'd put him like next to like Fred and Olwen.
Yeah, I put him right here because he joins late, but he has charisma, which is nice. He has the Bao sword, but he is so outclassed by Fergus. And another problem is that it's really hard to find a unit slot for him when you got all these other great units to use, you know?
Yeah, and also, you know who else can use the Bayo sword? Fergus.
Yep. Although...
And it's much better on Fergus.
Yeah, although Dermute, he is one of the few people to use, who can use, the Blaggy sword. But I think so can Nana, and, Leif, obviously, and I want to say Finn can use it.
Finn cannot. It's Leif, Diarmid, Nana, and Fergus.
Oh, Fergus can use it?
Wait, no, wait, Fergus cannot. You're right.
Okay. So it's just those three.
I'm looking up Broggy's sword right now. Oh wait, no, Fergus can use it.
Okay. So it's Fergus, Leif, Nana, and Diarmid?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, he joins at a point where he's already eclipsed massively.
Mm-hmm.
He's not terrible, but you see, you've already got Fergus. He's a sword cavalier that joins one chapter before cavaliers stop being really relevant.
Well, he literally is the same class as Fergus anyway, so he won't suffer any penalties. The one thing is that he joins late, he has lower bases. Like, his bases are decent, but it's like, you got Fergus, you're good. And then you also have Nana, who does his job better with the charisma bot. So, there is that.
Yeah. He's honestly just a lower... Like, he's honestly just a, hey, you got Fergus killed? Use this guy instead.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, is, again, like, Kaga design in a nutshell for a lot of characters, but when you're not playing an Iron Man run, that doesn't really matter.
Right.
So, yeah, B is where I'd put him.
Yes. And then... these two. We're saving Marita for last.
I agree. Honestly, I would put, Shiva in A rank.
Yeah.
Because, again, so,
probably below Ralph.
Yeah, I'd say below Ralph.
Yeah.
He comes with a good set of skills, like he comes with Soul.
Mm-hmm. Well, and just Soul.
Soul, and also he's got a personal critical coefficient of 4.
Right. And his base speed is pretty good. And then his strength isn't terrible. He can use the flame sword at base, which is nice. Yeah, because he has B rank in swords. So he can use the flame sword, he can use the hero sword. Yeah.
It's, speaking of, it's funny, because I'm looking on the wiki, and he doesn't have his sword rank listed.
Huh. What wiki are you looking at?
For some reason the regular wiki isn't loading for me, so I'm on the wiki,
Go to Serenade's Forest instead to look stuff up.
Yeah, I'm going on Serenade's Forest right now,
Yeah. Because it'll just... Yeah, Serenade's Forest is nice because it just shows you a table of, like, everyone's bases and weapon ranks and whatnot.
Yeah, Shiva... Oh, wait, yeah. It doesn't show weapon... Oh, wait, other data. Let's see, Shiva comes with, yeah, B swords.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you're right, which is funny because... Supposedly, when you become a sword master, you gain 2 levels in sword. So
I think that's just to overemphasize. It's like, yeah, you've truly mastered the sword.
Yeah, but it's just kind of funny with Shiva that he doesn't really benefit off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Marita, on the other hand, can.
Honestly,
possibly.
I'd say she's mid A rank.
Mid A rank, huh?
Either actually, I'm debating because I'm just gonna say I love Marita. She's always my user. She either always gets my Paragon scroll or my Paragon sword.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just got a good Like, I'm looking at her personal critical coefficient real quick.
She's a growth unit.
Yes, she is a growth unit. She's also got a 5 personal critical coefficient. So actually, I'd put her in S, because she basically quickly will eclipse good old Shiva. She's good in indoor maps. She can pretty much kill stuff.
The only problem with her is that we're also putting a lot of favoritism towards her. I am just saying.
We are, but here's the thing. Even with not putting favoritism towards her, she can get a lot of EXP pretty easily because, again, that 5 personal critical coefficient. She comes with a good sword. She comes with a good personal sword.
And if you want to give her more things to kill, then have at it with Astra. And hey, why not? If you go the A route, give her soul.
Yep.
I think like Thracia is like one of the few games where you can proc Astra, Luna, and Soul all at the same time.
You cannot actually.
Or is it just Astra and Luna, and then Astra and Soul? Because I've seen her proc Astra and then she'll proc Luna.
Oh wait, yes, yeah, she can proc those simultaneously through Astra. You're right. Never mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's one of those few that can do it. But the thing is, again, like the personal critical coefficient makes her really good. She kills pretty quickly. Like she kills most stuff pretty quickly. And excuse me, had to sneeze there.
That's okay. I think her one problem is the fact that she joins halfway through, which, I mean, like, that's good, but like I said, she has, kind of have to invest in her a little if you want her to get really good.
Yeah.
So there is that. I would say that she is better than Shiva. I would put her in mid-A somewhere, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, I'd put her above Nana.
Okay. Oh,
like, that's
nope.
my...
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, that looks to be an accurate tier list to me.
Yeah, but there's obviously gonna be disagreements, of course. I mean, I think it looks good. That pretty much is how I would rank all these units, especially after playing through most of Thracia twice now.
I'm just gonna say, I'm still, like, in the back of my head, I'm just laughing earlier at your reaction to my opinion of Nana. Cause you, like, I could hear, like, you're just hard disagreement there, but...
Yeah. Although your reaction to me telling you, oh, you could just snipe with the ballista with Alvin and Homer safe, it's you're just like, why didn't I think of that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, with this tier list, we're gonna be biased, but and the one tier list that I made that I showed you a while back, yeah, there's definitely more gods that be in this. Well, 2 more. Being said in Galzus, because I only put them in S just because they joined later.
They're late joiners, but they are just such good units that their join time doesn't really matter.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
But...
well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think it looks good. How about you?
Looks good to me.
Alright. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you all for watching, guys. Please feel free to let us know what you think of any of these characters, and there's probably pitfalls in this. So if you want to point out those pitfalls, go ahead and do that. So yeah, thank you all for watching, guys. Don't forget to like.
Real quick.
Yes?
People that point out pitfalls. Fight me in Atlantis on February 31st on the 25th hour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Alright.
Sorry.
Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. And I also thank the Greatrieck for coming on.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, I'm gonna plug gonna be streaming this game on Saturday at 4 p.m. Please check me out there.
Alright. And I guess that's it. See y'all later. Bye-bye.